Hi, everybody. Gavin Coyle here. I'm the Gaffer. I've got Rhydon Atzenhoffer with me today, and Rhydon is a leader in the area of HVAC and has been through a family business and then all the way through to where he is today. He is a HVAC consultant and entrepreneur. He's founder and host of the HVAC R&D podcast. Rhydon, welcome to the show. Had a great pre-chat with you. Tell everybody where you're based.
So, hey everybody. I'll say hey trade crew. That's what I call everybody that listens to HVAC R&D over the last 6 years. But I am in North Carolina. I'm just north of the city of Charlotte in a little town called Concord. I actually grew up in the mountains of North Carolina in a very, very small town called Bryson City. You'll definitely have to zoom in very far on the old Google map to find that one. It's nice and tucked away in the mountains where I normally like to be, but had to go to the big city to get a big boy job later in life. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I grew up in a family heating and air conditioning business. This trade, I will say it literally has given me everything in my life. Um, I've been in a work truck since I was 5. I ran new construction install crews when I was 12 and 13. That was fun to get people to listen to you when you're trying to be the boss of a 40-year-old guy when you're 13. That was always fun. Um, and then, working in the field paid for me to go to college. I got a entrepreneurial business degree. I also got a history degree because for the longest time I thought I would go be Indiana Jones and I would leave HVAC behind. You can see how well that worked out. And I got into distribution when I was done with college, and I've been in everything from sweeping a broom in a warehouse to working a counter, running a delivery truck, being a branch manager, and then I've been in some form of outside sales or division leadership for the last 15 years. And this
Wow.
this has really been this industry has been, a lifelong career. It's allowed me to start the show, which happened in 2020 as a kind of a passion project because during COVID, as we all know, it changed how outside sales and everything worked. And I went from being the guy that could go out and see contractors and his buddies all day to suddenly I was locked in a 8x8 office and didn't know what the heck to do with myself. So the show kind of came out of that, trying to find a way to talk to contractors and fellow HVAC people and other people in the trades, much like this show has done for Gavin. And I wanted it to be something guys listen to at 5 o'clock on a Friday going home. They listen to me and another guy crack a beer, talk about the trades, talk about some business stuff, and maybe have a little bit of a good time and just relax before they got home. So that's kind of me in a nutshell, if you want to leave it at
Love it,
that.
love it. Yeah, and we're dealing with the same. We've just talked about that earlier on, but we deal with the same challenges. It doesn't matter where globally you're positioned or where the flag is sticking. Tends to be the same topics are coming up constantly. But wanted to talk to you today because of your background in sales and leadership and business development and the whole concept of selling the business from a point of view of selling your services and selling your brand. And maybe we don't do enough of it in the small to medium enterprise where we kind of muddle our way through from project to project, and you've done a good project on the last project, it probably leads to the next project, but you don't actively have a sales strategy. And you know I just wanted to get a sort of, you've been in it at the small to medium level, the family sized business, right up to corporate. And you've seen it all in terms of, having resources, to not having resources and still having to go out and sell and have that sales and business development function. And, how integral it should be, or it should be part of your business plan and your business strategy, that you have somebody that's concentrated on sales. And maybe that is, in some cases it can be the owner. The owner can be, sometimes can be a great sales and business development person, but unfortunately that person might be stuck in the weeds, caught up at work on a day-to-day basis and not really performing that function. So let's try delve into that and get underneath that. Like, what's your experience from the small to medium enterprise level in terms of, salespeople? Are they there or are they not there? Or
I think it really depends on the business. Like you said, there's some business owners are great with people, and that's just, that's why they got into business in general. They love people. They want to interact with people. They want to do things. My father was much that way. I don't think he ever met somebody that didn't become a friend in one way or another. He's still that way today. He's 85 and still runs his business. He's been
Wow.
in business. It'll be 50 years next year for his heating and air
Wow.
business. Um, and I was lucky to have, seeing somebody that was a servant leader to his people from a young age. I think one of the most important things you have to look at when you go and you start a company. And a lot of times in the trades, we go and start a company because we're great with what we can do with our hands, but we're tired of working for the man, because we can say it that you want to go be your own
Yeah.
boss. But unfortunately, a lot of times you know how to fix everything, but sometimes there's a lot of things you may have questions about with how to run a business. And it takes time to learn those things, and you have to one, learn to educate yourself, because all of a sudden you're in control of a whole lot of problems that you may never have thought were going to be problems or that you'd have to solve.
Mm.
So you've got to figure out how to educate yourself first, so that then you can build a business and then educate the people that are working for you and help lead them into the right direction. In terms of getting salespeople in, if you're someone that you find, you started a business because you like being on the tools and that's the thing that you like to do, then no, you probably aren't the main person that should be the sales guy. You need to look for someone that's going to be that outward facing, outgoing person that can run sales. But I
Mm.
also think when it comes to sales philosophy, the most successful salespeople that are truly successful, you see a lot of salespeople that are successful because they know how to scare a customer into buying something.
Yeah.
Those aren't the kind of salespeople I want you to hire or deal with. I
Okay.
hate to say it, but if that's the kind of business you want to run, I don't know how to help you, because you got a different issue. Um,
Yeah.
you should be in business to serve people and take care of people and build positive relationships and help build your community and give back to your community. That's why you should go into business. If you go into any business with the mindset of self service and only for me, 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 you will struggle.
Here, here. I 100%
Um,
agree with you.
you have to be a servant leader to your people in your community. But when you bring a salesperson in, a lot of times when they're going into a homeowner's house and they've got this HVAC problem, they're going to have to replace the system. It was expensive 10 years ago. It's way more expensive 10 years on than it was before.
Yeah.
From a distribution perspective, I've seen more price increases that we've had to pass to contractors in the last 5 to 6 years than I saw in the 34 years of life before that, it feels like. I mean, it's insane.
And is
Prices
the product
almost, yeah.
is the product as good or better? Is the technology better?
In terms of things that you can see with technology now, inverter driven heat pumps, versus single stage and two stage products are miles more efficient. They're truly more efficient and better for your home. They save power. As long as now, some people will say, "Oh, we're gonna, completely eliminate your power bill." No, it still is going to use some power, but it's not going to be as much as it was. But
Yeah.
in most cases, you're not going to save 80% on your power bill. Now, unless they throw in a bunch of solar panels and some other stuff, but you may be saving it on the power bill, but you're spending it on the bill for putting that in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think with these changes we've seen in pricing and how we go to market as a salesperson, not just as a distributor selling to contractor, but as contractor selling to a homeowner or any business selling to a homeowner, you as the salesperson have to educate and understand the product, and you have to be able to educate the homeowner on why these different solutions are the best for their home. So let's say you're going to go in and you're selling, a lot of people sell good, better, best, or bronze, gold, silver, platinum, or bronze, silver, gold, platinum, however they do it. But every one of these is a solution that fits the problem to the home. It's just a different level of solution for the home.
Yeah.
And if you can educate the homeowner on why this, or this is the actual solution and explain to him why and how it works, That's when you can truly make the most out of a sale with a homeowner. Because when they understand what you're bringing to the table and they understand why you're doing what you're doing, more than likely you're going to be more successful as a salesperson with them than the guy that's just like, hey, this is going to be $7,500, puts it on the back of a business card and hands it to him. There's my quote.
Yeah.
And it also allows you to build that relationship and build that rapport, because if you're going to get a homeowner to buy from you, in a lot of cases, you're not just trying to sell it to them to have a one-off transaction with that homeowner. You're trying to build a recurring revenue stream in the right way for your business. You're going to sell them this $17,000 change out, because crazily that's what some of them are now, which is insane. You're going to sell them this expensive change out. I'm hoping that 1,700 includes some ductwork. It's not just equipment. You're fixing some other problems you found while you're doing it, doing the right thing. But then you're also going to want them, to sign a maintenance contract with you. You're going to want to be the guy that goes out and touches it a couple times a year and makes sure that what your guys put in is maintained properly so that it keeps working the way it should. And then you know what? If they had 2 systems in the house, well, 4 years later, the other one went out. Well, you're dang sure hoping that you're the one that fixes that one too. So you have to go into it in a position of building a relationship with the homeowner and giving back to them just the way they're giving to you. And if you will do that and you will take care of your customers and take care of your people, you will build a very successful business.
What about the tradesmen themselves? Do they need to be trained in sales of some sort?
If you've never had any kind of sales education at all, I highly recommend you go and take some. Now, if you're buying from, depending on who you're buying, a lot of distributors will offer sales trainings and some other different things that may be sponsored by the equipment that you're, brand that you're purchasing, or situations like that. And if those things are available, especially if they're at a lower cost or you get a discount because you can do it through the distributor you're buying from, I highly encourage you to go and continue to grow your own educational level in anything you're doing with your business. Sales is massively important because the sales guy calls out, someone's got to go see the 3 or 4 appointments that were there. Someone's got to be able to step in.
Especially and I think with the service business.
Oh, 100%.
Really,
yeah, 100% with the service
matters,
business.
Obviously.
Yes. So I think it's very important that you know how to sell, even if you didn't get into the business to be the sales guy. And if you weren't the salesperson to begin with, I still think it's important that you learn how to sell, because you're going to be training other people how to do it. You're going to be talking to them how they should or shouldn't do it. So you need to understand your company's process and how you want to go to market.
Yeah. And also, in terms of, product and inventory, and, guys going into the stores and just, randomly picking out stuff and going, look, I'll just fit a new filter or whatever it is to whatever. Like, they need to have a concept about that's margin going out the door. That's margin for the business that's going out the door. And I think, we see a lot of people that probably don't have that sort of education. It's not that they're doing it to be disrespectful or to try and, do something in a wrong way. It's not that they've set out to do something in the wrong way, but you see people that they just don't know the numbers. You know what I mean? In terms of where the company's at, in terms of gross margin, net margin, capital, capex on the business. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a small family or you're a large corporate. Everybody needs to know where the figures are.
No, and I agree with that. And to be honest, the guy that's walking in to pick up stuff at the counter for the company is not who should be deciding what should or shouldn't be going on, Mr. and Mrs. homeowner's house. I think in a lot of ways, the larger you get as a company or the smaller you are as a company, you still need to have a finger on the pulse of what you're paying and what you're paying for and what those products are. And you need to have a relationship with your distributor, which and not just because I'm the distribution sales guy. This isn't me trying to plug that necessarily, but
Yeah.
If to be a truly successful contractor, you need to have good business partners that you're doing business with, and you need to understand the products that you're buying, what your costs are, and what you're putting out the door. So, in a lot of cases, one of the things that I try to push as a distributor is I don't necessarily want all of your guys. I mean, I love having counter business. So, but there's a difference in walking counter business to find a part and fix it, as opposed to just guys going and picking stuff up every day and it taking time away from the job they're meant to do. If
Yeah.
you can have your distributor deliver to you and maintain what needs to go on every job and take those things to the job from your warehouse, you will
Hmm.
save so much time and money and you will make better money. I love seeing the guys in the in the distribution counter. I love seeing them in the warehouse, because that allows me to build rapport with your guys. But I can also do that when I come visit your company,
Yeah.
especially if I'm going to do a lunch and learn and do training. There's a lot of TMs that'll do training with you and your employees.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a value add. So
Mm.
I think it's very important that you are making the decision of the products that your company is selling when you're going to market, and that you have a distribution partner that's providing the resources and the education that you need in order for your guys to properly install those products, understand those products, and sell them.
Hmm. What about the in terms of training? What type of training do you think is needed for salespeople? Within the business. So you would have had leadership positions in terms of bringing your own team together. How would you educate the guys in terms of building out a sales team?
I think it depends on where they're coming from. Um, did I just lose you, Gavin?
You did.
Uh-oh. It's trying to tell me to chat with support, but I don't know what's going on. Back to studio.
Oh,
What in the world?